I'm struggling with it.
With what?
Reading and writing. Yeah, I'm becoming fully dyslexic.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. Not really.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
No, I haven't been punched in the head that much yet. Give it some time. This guy. This guy.
What about him?
Pussy. That's what he is. Anyway, day 109 of the 1,000-day challenge. Let's get on it. Bing. Boom. What's this? Would you rather itch for 1 day or get tickled for 1 hour?
Itch.
Well, you call it silly. I'm seriously thinking about it. Itch for a day or tickled for 1 hour? Yeah, itch. It's just like a day of the chicken pox. Yeah, I could handle that. Now you get over it. Rub some cream on there. Getting tickled, mate. You'd probably kill someone. How's it going anyway? No, that type of humor is good, mate. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think deeply about things like that. Serious considerment. I'm unsure, but I think I'd rather choose itches or bad ticklish. Itching would be really, really annoying. That's it, though. Like, would you rather, like, exactly, it's just annoying. Where the tickling is like, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you can't hit them. It's like being tickled. Like, I assume it's like getting tickled by something you can't stop tickling you. So it's like you're a little kid with like a giant. Imagine like that. You know that, like Eddie Hall? Or, you know, like that Thor Bjornsson or whatever his name is, that fucking 7-foot strong man. Imagine them like tickling. You couldn't stop them no matter how hard you tried. Yeah, it is. It's torture. I'm pretty sure it's in the torture. Like the torture manual. List of torture techniques. So fuck that. The chicken pox is annoying, yeah, for sure. I remember crying about a kid, like after the second week of it, but I can handle the day of it, I reckon. Like, oh, Mom, this won't go away. She's like, you'll be right. It was good times. My dad, yeah, 23, growing up, I have funny but traumatic memories of my dad and brother tickling me. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. So being there, you feel so helpless, you know? Like, what could you do against, like, a Brock Lesnar or something like that? You just... Fuck, that'd be scary. Take it you're from Australia. He said mate. You could be English too. That's just my assumption. We seem to be the only ones to say mate. It was like the most ticklish feeling ever, and it doesn't stop until they've had their fun. Yeah, exactly. Till they're bored. Till they're tired of it. Yeah, UK. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty chill. That is true. But yeah, nah. Was he? Ah. As long as it wasn't your uncle tickling you. Oh, they say your uncle shouldn't touch you. And oh, my uncle tickled me. Oh, no, 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 no. Sorry, that's my sort of sense of humor too. It can get dark. No, it's good. Oh, see, you got one of those dads too, mate. Dads are the best for that. My dad's always like, you know, like, you know, he's like, "What's the time?" I'm like, "Oh, it's 2:30." It's like, "Oh, you better go see the dentist then." You know, that sort of shit. And he's like, you know, whatever it is. Oh, what's some of the shit? You know, be true to your teeth, or they'll be false to you. You know. And he's the sort of guy to like drop a bomb in your toilet, and then when he walks out, he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't go in there for a while." You know, it's fucking, it's crazy, mate. He's non-stop. He thinks he's the funniest thing ever. True. Yeah. I guess that's his way of going about it. Oh, he's hectic, mate. One day I'll get him on the stream. You watch. I will. On the 1,000 days. Once I hit 1,000 days, I'm going to bring him on for the first time, I reckon. I'm going to bring Dad on. Hopefully he's not. He doesn't say anything racist. But yeah. Is he a tough guy? My dad's like a stereotypical tough guy. Oh, no, not my dad. No, he's not a tough guy. No, he's just he's just like a clownish guy, you know, just funny. Nah. Like, no, I wouldn't say he's a tough guy in any way, shape, or form. He's just a funny man. Yep. Yeah, he'll just embarrass me with half the shit that comes out of his mouth. Yeah. Yeah, no, my dad, I can't see him. Maybe back in the day he thought he was tough, but he's not a tough guy. I said that you can't get, you know, controlled by your wife, you know, bullied, because, yeah, I mean, that's a long story, man. I'm not even going to get into it. But anyway, I don't think so. Well, there you go. That's the best. Yeah, your dad would probably beat up my dad if we're going to play that game. But I don't know who'd win if it was just like who could say the stupidest shit, the funniest shit. I don't know. I will get him on one day though. He is a silly guy. Yeah, I will. Like I said, I got to get some piss into him too, so he's nice and honest. Because like I said, I haven't had anything to drink in a while, but we'll see if I get banned from Twitch when I do drink. Thought of a good follow-up question on my first question. Yeah. Hit me with it. Hazards practically identified. I'm gonna work to figure it out. Alright, who would you wish the itching indoor tickling on as a prank? So someone else had to experience it instead of you. Yeah. Who's a few best mates, my dad and brother. Who would I wish it on? Just anyone else, I guess. Anyone. Anyone except me. I don't know. I do it to some guys that are like act tough in the gym. I do it to them, the most serious guys. Oh, my dad, yeah, I don't know. He'd probably enjoy it, to be honest. He's already had a lot of itches in his life. And I swear, he tickles himself silly every single day. It probably wouldn't even bother him. He'd probably be the last person I choose, to be honest. Just because I know it'd have no effect on him. And he comes around and he's like, oh, look, buddy, I got this rash on my leg. And I was like, I don't want to see that shit. And he's like, yeah, like, what did he say? You got a massage or something?
Yeah, when he was in Holland.
Yeah, he was in Holland and he went to the red light district and now he's got this rash. I'm like, what are you telling me this for?
On the side of his balls.
On the side, it's like right in his groin area. I'm like, oh man.
Like, yeah, I got a massage.
Yeah, but
On the side of my
it's
balls.
like, I don't know what cream. I don't know. Put your pants up, man.
Remember we gave him the hydrocortisone cream, and he was like, "That was great. Have you got any more?"
Yeah, but the gym, yeah, the guys who got real serious looks on them, and the ones that might shoot up a little bit of roids or something, they're the ones. I'd be like, here you go, just tickle the shit out of them. Exactly. Yeah, don't show me that. I could see the side of your testicles, mate. Put them away. Fucking hell. It's like that time I accidentally turned around when we were getting, you know, when you're young and you go to the locker rooms and the pools. I turn around, ah, fuck.
He gave me money to go to the pharmacy and buy him cream.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Ah. Fucking hell. The trauma's kicking back in. My god. Yeah, he is. Oh yeah, fucking hell. I'll just make clips on him, mate. I swear to God, I bring him on just do clip after clip. He's such a crazy guy. He'll just have non-stop jokes too. He just won't stop. He'll just keep going and going and going. Like, I made stupid jokes, you know, like with my kids. You know, where you like, you know, like at the shops, you know, where people make puns with everything that's near them. Like, I'll grab a packet of rolls, you know, and stand on them and say, "Hey, look, kids, I'm on a roll," you know, shit like that. Or look, grab the mushroom packet. Oh, there's not mushroom in here, is there? You know, shit like that, stupid shit, where he can just go on and on and on. Like, yeah. Yeah, I think I am. But every male in my family is hilarious, so I can't help but be a little bit funny. I can't even help it. I don't even mean to be funny. I remember when I was a kid, I would just say things and people would laugh like, "Oh, that's so funny," and I'm like, I'm not even joking. It's just what I'm thinking. That's when I realized, oh, maybe my mind's just fucked. It just is what it is. Like, he does this thing where he says, when you grab like, he'll grab milk, yeah, and he'll do this. He's like, "What's this?" This is, and it's milk. He'll go, and he said, "What's that?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, it's pasteurized milk." I'm like, oh, fucking hell. It just doesn't stop. Or this. You know, he does that and he goes, "Fuck knows." Ugh. I don't know, man. I've thought about being a comedian, but it's just a hassle to go down and get on stage and you know, go all the way down to the city or these places and talk. I should do it one time, yeah. I should. Because I'm one of those people that even if I bombed, it's like Norm Macdonald, like the idea of it is hilarious. You know, like if I went up there and started telling jokes and no one laughed, I'd actually probably enjoy it more than if people did laugh. I'm not gonna lie. I think that I'd get like a sick pleasure out of that. Like, this is hilarious. Like, then, and like, I know these jokes are funny. I've told them to people and they've laughed. But you know when you just say it wrong, or you just say it to the wrong audience and then they don't laugh, I think that'd be the funniest shit. Yeah, it is. It's a hassle, bro. You gotta go all the way down to the city and, man, you gotta catch a train or drive in there, and it's just a pain in the ass. That's what it is. Like, if it wasn't for all that, like, if it was just like at my local shops, you know, maybe I'd do it more often or something like that. I'd give it more of a go. Nah, you're all good, Nathan. You're all good, bro. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Take care. Stay magnificent, my friend. Who will be responsible for communicating the outcomes and how and when this will be done? And how and who will review and document the effectiveness of the controls? 3.2 Step 1. Identify the psychosocial hazards. The first step in the risk management process is to identify the psychosocial hazards which may arise from the work context or work content. This involves identifying the aspects of work and situations that could potentially harm people and why these may be occurring. It should also find where hazards and risks are, why they are not effectively managed, and opportunities to improve the quality of the existing controls. To inform your risk assessment, you should always consider the underlying sources of psychosocial hazards and risks. These are likely to be both external and internal to your organization. For example, the work environment, nature and type of work undertaken by your organization, your operating environment and economic pressures, interactions and behaviors between people at work and within your supply chain, outsourcing, contractors, partner agencies, suppliers or customers that impact workers and others' health and safety. The design and management of your organization as a whole, structure and governance, procurement and resourcing decisions. Can you tell this was written by legislators? Resourcing decisions affecting work demands. Well, training, instruction and supervision. Design and management of the work tasks and jobs. Design and maintenance of buildings, technology and plant. Hazardous working environments and locations, arrangements with those in your supply chains, example, contract requirements such as labour hire, delivery schedules and penalties, overlapping policies and procedures, and significant changes such as downsizing, organisational restructuring, new work arrangements or technologies. This is the most boring of the most boring. Psychosocial hazards can arise from organisational-wide systems, work practices, and cultural issues. Where this occurs, information about psychosocial hazards may need to be collected across the organisation. This can help to confirm if there are widespread risks that need to be controlled. Other psychosocial hazards will relate to specific tasks and jobs. In this case, you will only need to collect information from the affected workers. There is commonly more than one psychosocial hazard present. However, they can occur as an isolated event. Some psychosocial hazards will be quite apparent, and others will require a more comprehensive process to identify them and their underlying causes. For example, arising from the business pressures, the way the organisation or work group is structured, how work is designed and managed, or from the actions of others such as contractors, partners, or suppliers. The hazard identification process should consider if the psychosocial hazards differ between work groups or teams, functions, or workplaces. Systematically collecting and reviewing available information and data. The PCBU should consider how the organisation's work systems, including operating procedures and governance arrangements, influence the nature of the work, how work is managed and undertaken, and impact on workers, supervisors, and managers' attitudes and behaviours. Relevant information and records should be reviewed. These may include, for example, psychosocial hazard and workforce or cultural surveys. Culture surveys. Outcomes from WHS focus groups discussions. What the fuck? No wonder nothing gets done, mate. No wonder why productivity is down. Work-related psychosocial hazard and incidents reports. Complaints and investigations into alleged harmful workplace behaviours. Issues raised at Health and Safety Committee meetings. Absenteeism, turnover, exit interviews, sick leave data and workers' compensation claims. Business strategy resourcing decisions, example staffing levels, achievements of key performance indicators, outsourcing, contracting, partner and procurement arrangements, advice from WHS professionals, employer organisations and unions, advice provided by the WHS regulator, staff skills and experience profiles, analysis of work tasks, schedules and locations, duty statements and performance agreements, WHS and human resource systems, policies and procedures, and WHS key performance indicators, including those specific to psychosocial hazards.
You will have to be reading this.
Yes, I can read Code of Practice, yep. This is just managing psychosocial hazards, mate. This is WHS. This is must-know information. Useful insights into potential psychosocial hazards and risks may also be found in project risk management or procurement documents and through your supply chains and networks. Workers generally know which aspects of the work are creating or likely to create hazards or risks, and may have practical suggestions on how to manage these. The PCBU must consult affected workers and their HSR when identifying psychosocial hazards and risks and throughout the risk management process. For example, this can be done through consultative forums, workplace surveys, health and safety committee meetings, and routine or dedicated project meetings between workers and their supervisor. By talking to your workers and asking about their experience of psychosocial hazards, you can also decide if they may need some additional support so they can do their work safely and effectively. Observe and talk to workers about work activities. Hazards and risks can also be identified by looking and talking. Walk through, talk through, the walkie-talkie, with workers about how work is done under normal operating conditions, during peak workloads, and under unexpected circumstances, including emergencies, example, injury of a colleague or serious workplace accident, like getting your penis smashed in between the door of the toilet. You should also compare this to the work methods described in policies and procedures and check they are appropriate for the different circumstances. It is useful to talk with both experienced and inexperienced workers. Examples of things to look out for and ask about may include tasks or situations that are generally considered mentally, emotionally, or physically very difficult or stressful. Frequent rushing, delays, work backlogs, increased rates of errors or wastage, unexpected incidents, or process failures. Workers improvising how work is done due to time pressures, or inappropriately delaying or avoiding tasks. Significant differences between duty statements and required activities, complaints and organizational policies, procedures and systems of work that are unsafe or too difficult to follow, or conflicts between patient or customer needs and WHS standards. Significant changes in the behaviors of workers, example, incivility, openly criticizing others or the organization, refusing offers of help when it is needed or others' requests for help, lack of engagement, low quality performance, or failure to complete tasks, assignments on time, or increased absence from work. The behavior of others at the worksite, including visitors, example, suppliers, clients, parents, and new technology and equipment changes. What's going on? How is your Sunday going? My Sunday is magnificent, my friend. We just finished a long day of work. I just spoke to my local vicar around the corner while I was on a walk. He stopped me a little bit. Decided to talk to me, and now I am doing this. How was your Sunday, my friend? So now we're going to learn about some OHS stuff. This is the best. Yeah, he caught me right in the honey trap. New technology and equipment changes. No, he said, like, you could always go to the 5 p.m. Saturday service. I said that's actually a good idea, to be honest. He said I might try that. Many psychosocial hazards are quite common, and the risks well known. In these situations, if, after identifying the hazards, you already know the risks and how best to control them, you do not need to assess the risks. You must still consult with the affected workers and HSRs when considering proposed controls on how these will be implemented and when checking if these are effective and working as intended. For better psychosocial hazard identification, the PCBU should use a combination of information sources, such as organizational data, observing work activities, and consulting workers. Yes. Bro, I have one imp question. Go on. If you choose to conduct workplace surveys, giving your workers the option to respond anonymously may improve the response rate and quality of the information you receive. They're all anonymous handies. They're all cowards. That's what it is. Ideally, this information should be collected from a representative cross-section of workers or through existing structures such as WHS committees. You want the key of success? I know the key of success, but what's yours? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me, Kushtab. Please. The free online and validated Australian Psychosocial Risk Assessment Survey and resources, which may suit your purposes, are at the People at Work website. Look at these faces, mate. Step 2. Assess and prioritize the psychosocial hazards and risks. The psychosocial risk assessment process will assist the PCBU in determining the seriousness of the risk concerning both the consequences for affected workers and others and the likelihood of harm occurring. No, I am saying you want or no. I want, sir. I want. Which workers are most at risk and affected? Well, who's most at risk? If risks are organizational wide or apply to specific groups of workers or work tasks. Which controls are currently used, if any? How effective they are? What controls could reduce the risks to the lowest practical level? And the priority for action. You should do a risk assessment when it is unclear if the psychosocial hazards may result in harm or how they may interact with each other to produce a new or more significant risks of harm, or changes are planned or underway that may impact the effectiveness of controls. For small businesses, it may be as simple as regular toolbox discussions with affected workers. A more comprehensive process may be required if serious WHS risks have been identified or are suspected. A risk assessment is not something that only happens once, but should be part of a continuous improvement process. You want it's hanging with my balls. Come and get it. I didn't know you were gay, bro. Some hazards and risks may be widespread, and others only under certain circumstances, like all risk assessments. Where's that little rainbow flag? So I can put that right where his Indian one is. I'll put that up there. I'll get the rainbow ones just for you, my brother. Just for you. Like all risk assessments, you must make sure you consider both the usual work conditions and reasonably foreseeable and unusual operating conditions. Determine the psychosocial risk. When assessing risk, it is crucial to focus the most effort on psychosocial hazards that are severe or can impact large numbers of workers or groups of workers, or things that have very high risk of harm for smaller numbers of people. Right. For new or high risk activities, that's all I ever engage in. A structured task analysis should be completed, including a detailed description of the activities and which workers are undertaking these, locations, duration, and frequency of activities, necessary information, plant and equipment, environmental controls, we need to control the environment, mental and physical requirements to do the tasks, identified psychosocial and physical hazards and risks. You tripped and trap. If you reckon, mate. And any other relevant factors. Working through the following questions will help determine which aspects of the tasks or jobs pose a risk of harm from exposure to psychosocial hazards and help prioritize controls. You said the key to success. That was a trap. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know, Kushtab. I don't know, mate. Tripped in trap. Fuck, that's funny. Working through the following questions will help determine which aspects of the task or job pose risk of harm from exposure to psychosocial hazards and help prioritize controls. First, make sure you sufficiently understand the main tasks and duties that make up your workers' tasks and jobs. Yeah, you should know that. The number and locations of affected workers. If psychosocial hazards listed in Table 1 of this code or other identified through your consultation process are present, how psychosocial hazards might interact and increase or decrease the risk, and the effectiveness of existing controls implemented. Then consider the following: the seriousness of the consequences for workers if exposed, including the severity or possible harm and or the duration of exposure to harm, the reasonably foreseeable likelihood that workers may experience harm doing the task or jobs. For example, has harm occurred previously or in similar workplaces? Next, determine the consequences and likelihood in combination. Or at 9999. You know what this means? You know what this means, Kushtab? You know what that means? You know what it means? Has occurred previously or in similar workplaces. Next, determine consequences and likelihood in combination. The outcomes and decisions from considering these three factors can help you prioritize action. Consider whether the consequences and likelihood of harm suggest controls are required, and how urgently action is needed to implement these. Affected workers and their HSRs must be consulted as part of the risk assessment process. To improve the accuracy of this process, it is suggested you separately consider and rate risks to health and safety that are unlikely, but where the consequences may be serious to catastrophic, and likely or very likely, but where the consequences may be less serious. Combining both groups together means psychosocial risk, which is less likely, but may have very serious or catastrophic consequences, may not be given appropriate weight. 3.4. Step 3. Control psychosocial hazards and risks. But you still want that key? You can shove your key up your ass, mate. Control psychosocial hazards and risks. Every workplace is different, so the best combination of control measures to eliminate hazards or minimize risks will be tailored to your organization's business size, type, and work. Activities to manage risks during both everyday operations and emergencies. Most effort should be on implementing control measures which target the psychosocial hazards identified and assessed in steps 1 and 2. The risk controls can involve good work design across the organization and or be targeted to affected work groups and tasks with the highest risks. Targeting controls in this way will provide the highest level of protection for the largest number of workers. These controls will usually also benefit individuals identified to be at risk of harm. Yes. This next section provides information about the considerations and processes you should use to select appropriate controls for your organization. Why are you getting serious? Because you said something about your balls and whatever it is. What is it? It's hanging with my balls. Come and get it. So I said, shove it up your ass. Was that serious, was it? I didn't even realize. I didn't think it was that serious. I suppose it could be taken that way. The next section provides information about the consideration process you should use to select appropriate controls for your organization. Eliminate or minimize risk through good work design. Good work design is concerned with specifying and organizing existing and new jobs and tasks of a work group, and if needed for individual workers to be less hazardous. This will help meet organizational requirements to effectively deliver services or products and assist in minimizing harm from psychosocial hazards and risks. Groups of workers may be exposed to several different kinds of psychosocial hazards and risks. Oh, this is a good bit of bedtime reading, this is, mate. Making me go to sleep. The best and most effective way to control these is at the source. That is, by substituting the current work methods with less hazardous alternatives. It may not always be reasonably practicable. Haven't had to use that word 20 million times. To eliminate the hazard or risk, for example, where jobs have some inherent hazards such as shift work or police dealing with violent or abusive members of the public, those people. Or if by doing so you cannot make your product or deliver your service, or where the cost of implementing the controls is grossly disproportionate to the risk. If a hazard or risk cannot be eliminated, then the PCBU must minimize it so far as is reasonably practicable. When redesigning work, you can consider the psychosocial hazards identified and look for opportunities to turn these into controls to mitigate risk. For example, where there is role overload, such as excessive time pressure, role conflict, and poor practical support, you could improve scheduling to minimize overload, clarify roles and responsibilities, and provide additional practical support. For more information, see Safe Work Australia, Principles of Good Work Design, a WHS handbook. Yeah, I'm going to read that next. Physical hazards contributing to psychosocial risks should be controlled through relevant isolation and engineering controls. For example, the use of physical barriers to help control the risk of violence in the workplace. Physical barriers, we can put a shield on them. Don't take that joke personally. Take it as a gay, so you can enjoy that joke. The problem is, I'm just not gay. Where hazards and risks remain even after, I know I'm a white dude, but nah. redesign the administrative controls, including safe systems of work and appropriate information, training, instruction, and supervision, will also be required. Relying on administrative controls should never be the main risk management program. Fuck. Safe systems of work. Safe systems of work are organizational rules, policies, procedures, and work practices that must be developed and followed to ensure workers and others are not harmed by any remaining residual psychosocial risks. Systems of work may include rostering, working hours, task rotation, and breaks to allow opportunities for rest and recovery, standards and procedures to manage hazardous tasks, and policies and procedures to manage workplace behavior, such as bullying and harassment, or organizational codes of conduct. Safe systems of work must be developed in consultation with workers and reviewed whenever there are changes to the work activities to ensure they remain appropriate. You have any joke? Yeah. You know what this means? Fuck knows. That's about it. That's all I got for you. Information, training, instruction, or supervision. The PCBU must provide adequate and suitable information, training, instruction, or supervision to workers, including supervisors and managers, which has regard to and includes the nature of the work and tasks to be carried out by workers, the psychosocial hazards and risks associated with the work, the required control measures, including safe systems of work and how to comply with these. Such a boring joke and outdated. It's true, an oldie but a goodie. Better than a gay joke, including and how to comply with these, how workers should report and respond if a problem or risk arises, and ensure information, training, and instruction is readily understood by any person it is provided to. A competent person, someone who has acquired, through training, qualification, or experience, the necessary knowledge and skills to safely carry out the task, should provide the information, training, instruction, and supervision. Uncertainty about how to safely and efficiently do new tasks, including using new technology, or they may not have been undertaken for some time, or tasks which are undertaken during an emergency and when working on unfamiliar work sites, are relatively common psychosocial hazards. Providing adequate and timely information, training, instruction, and supervision are particularly important where the work has inherent risks. Example, risk of violence for first responders. True. In most cases, psychosocial risk management can use a mix of good work design, safe systems of work, and suitable and adequate information, training, instruction, and supervision. While PPE is not a common control for psychosocial risks, in some cases where the absence of or inadequacy of PPE to control physical risks is causing workers concern, this will also need to be addressed. Some examples of common psychosocial risk controls can be seen in Appendix A. Not my appendix. Like Hitler also do that joke when he was a kid. You reckon? Reasonable. Hitler did that joke. What the fuck, bro? Fuck, you are a funny cunt though. Accommodate the needs of an individual worker to prevent harm. For example, a worker with a disability or returning to work after an injury. There may also be duties under anti-discrimination, privacy, and other relevant laws that need to be considered. Controlling residual risks. Before authorizing the implementation of controls, the relevant duty holder should do a final check for residual risks that may remain and check the quality of the controls in place to reduce the risk as low as reasonably practicable. Practicable. That's how you know that it's going to be some legal jargon bullshit. It's got the word practicable in it. What does this mean? Excellent, yeah. Controls are adequate. Hazard risk is eliminated or residual risk is insignificant. Controls are in place to the full extent that is reasonably practicable. The controls are not ideal, but there is no better control currently available, or the costs would be grossly disproportionate to the risk. Ongoing monitoring of this risk is needed. Controls are satisfactory and appear to be working adequately. However, more effective controls are known and available and could be implemented. Controls are inadequate. There are known limitations with existing controls, and further action to manage the risk is urgently needed. It's urgent. The risk is uncontrolled. Controls either have been implemented, not have been implemented, or they are grossly inadequate. Immediate action is required. If after considering the residual risks and the adequacy of controls, the risk is uncontrolled, inadequately controlled, or controls are considered only satisfactory, further action is required. When making a judgment about what additional controls are reasonably practicable, the PCBU should weigh up the elements of what is reasonably practicable, as set out in Section 18 of the WHS Act. Bro, people don't get bored with you. What do you talk about? What do you mean? People get bored with me. I don't give a fuck. Implementing controls. You should know that by now, man. You think you know that. See, if I wanted to keep people entertained, I wouldn't be reading and writing on the stream. I wouldn't be reading out code of practice, managing psychosocial hazards at work. I wouldn't literally post the same shit every single day on YouTube. That's essentially what my 1,000-day challenge is. This is called a grind, mate. This is a grind. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's not. You should actually... Yeah, how do I explain it, Kushtab? The fact that you keep coming back shows you've got a lot of endurance, mate. That's what it shows. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people get bored shitless. But you just keep coming back. It's crazy. You are insane as I am. The way I am consistent with this and grinding away, you are consistent with like coming back and talking to me. I have lost lots of testosterone. Yeah, you have lost your testosterone, yeah. That's okay, bro. You get that, you know. You get that. And I keep gaining testosterone. Every day I feel like it's going up a point or two. It's incredible. That's the thing I gotta ask the doctor too next. What's my testosterone level? Say, because
Don't you have to do the test for that?
No, that's just... No, not that test. No. Different test. But yeah. This is a grind, Kushtab. I don't do this, like, maybe one day once it's all said and done, maybe once 1,000 days is done, then maybe I'll do something for the people, you know? I just do shit for me, you know? And I do want to help people, but I'm going to help people through reading and writing, you know? I help people by, I don't know, if I can lead by example in a way, or something like that. Or if I can do any success and help people, you know, I'll help people where I can. Whether it's financially or whether it's, you know, like how else can you help people? You can just help people by being an inspiration and being there for the community and just try to, like, you know, motivate people and try to set like a method, you know. But in the end, I don't do anything for anyone else except for me and my family and, like, you know, friends, really. But first, this is the order of importance. It's me, because if you can't help yourself out, you can't help anyone. So you got to put yourself first. Then it's family, and after family, it's friends, and after friends, it's like, you know, then everyone else. You have double-digit testosterone. I have 4-digit testosterone. Yeah, but that's just not true because I have kids and I get, you know, and I have how do I say this? I can get laid whenever the fuck I want. And that's usually a couple times a day, Kushtab. So, I don't know about you. But see how I'm so calm? There's a reason for it. Or why you go funny to serious that much? What do you mean? I don't even know what do you mean funny to serious? I don't understand. Fuck knows what you're saying, bro. Fuck knows. I don't know. Bipolar. That's what I am. Safe work procedures that describe the tasks, hazards, how tasks can be safely done, and the duties, roles, and responsibilities of all parties to follow these. I don't even know. I'm not even serious. I'm not funny and I'm not serious. I'm just saying it how it is. Information, training, instruction, and supervision of workers on implemented controls, including safe work procedures. Yes. Appropriate information and instruction for site visitors, of course. A schedule for maintaining, monitoring, and reviewing controls to ensure they are effective and are not creating new unintended WHS or organizational risks. Of course. When proposing changes to existing or new controls or workplace arrangements, it is essential you consult affected workers and their HSRs as early as possible. For example, on the design and management of the work, such as restructures, work locations, changes to tasks, duties, and working arrangements. New technology, plant, equipment, production processes, or the redesign of existing workplaces. 3.5. Step 4. Proactively implement, maintain, monitor, and review the effectiveness of controls. Managers and supervisors should be provided with the authority and resources to implement and effectively maintain controls. Clear accountabilities for monitoring, reviewing, and maintaining controls should be allocated. The information and processes you use to identify hazards and risks will also help you monitor and view the effectiveness of control measures. Do not assume risks will not change or that controls will remain suitable, sufficient, and effective over time. Reviews can be used to check whether the approach to systematic work health and safety management is effective, hazards and risks are being effectively controlled, the organization is meeting its WHS obligations, including for due diligence, and there are opportunities for improvement. You are not funny, not serious, so what are you? Gay? Is that what you reckon, bro? But we've already established how gay I'm not. If by gay you mean happy, then maybe. I'm quite happy. I am. I'm quite content. If I died today, I'd actually be alright. I'd be alright with it. I wouldn't even care. Like, I'd care a little bit for my family. But aside from that, I'm happy. I'm a happy man. The organization, blah, blah, blah. Reviews should occur before significant organizational or workplace changes occur. For example, changes to the organizational structure, work location, environment, equipment and resources, employment, conditions, or systems of work. Where a new hazard or risk is identified, if a serious incident, injury, or illness occurs arising from the psychosocial risk or a psychological injury occurs, psychologically injured. If a physical injury occurs where psychosocial risks were likely to be the contributing factor, if the hazard changes and you are now uncertain of the risk, if a control measure is not adequately minimizing the risk, where consultation indicates a review is necessary, if requested by a HSR, at agreed review dates, such as annually, or where audit results indicate a review is necessary. The results of a review of controls should trigger discussions between the PCBU and the duty holders to check they are taking all reasonable steps to manage psychosocial risks. The PCBU should also have strategies to intervene early, to make necessary changes to the work design. If workers report stress, I'm stressed, psychological or physical problems, and to provide appropriate workers' compensation arrangements and or support for return to work if workers have been harmed. The hazard and risk reporting system should be appropriate for the organization and proportional to the seriousness and likelihood of potential harm. For example, where there is a reasonably foreseeable risk of occupational violence, the reporting system should include reviewing the effectiveness of controls for the risk. Appendix A shows some example scenarios with related hazards, possible controls and approaches to monitor, review and continuously improve systematic work health and safety systems. Common failures in the risk management process are to focus on poor workplace behaviors by an individual and not identify or sufficiently control the psychosocial hazards, which may be contributing or giving rise to these behaviors, or not following the hierarchy of control principles and relying on mainly administrative controls. Of course. Cool. And we're done with that. Alrighty. Which part are we up to now? Oh, what a boring read. Half of it's just repeated. All of it's common sense. And a lot of it's bullshit. You gotta love bureaucracy. Alrighty. If you die today, everyone is alright, but your family or more than everyone. What about me? You don't think about me. Would you be sad, would you, if I died? It's crazy. Don't be sad, mate. We all gotta die. You get over it. Glossy yellow fucking scammers, mate. One day, Kushtab, you and me, I'm gonna come to India. You'll come to Australia, whatever. and I don't know. We'll have a meal or something because you don't drink. Do you do any drugs? You know, do you have some ayahuasca? Something like that. DMT. Some psychedelic shit. Are you allowed to have that? Or is that on the no-no list as well? Ugh. I kill people for dopamine. You kill people for dopamine. What the fuck? That's a weird thing Narakash does. So you're like a psychopath. You saying you'd kill me if we ever met? Is that what you're trying to say? In games, yeah. True. I thought you were a full-blown psycho or something. I was gonna say, you hit that well. I didn't take you for a psycho. What games you been playing? Still playing Grand Theft Auto? You gonna play GTA 6? I don't play any games that last within 20 days. Really? You're talking shit again. No way. Well. Why not? What have you been doing? Good, I suppose. Maybe. What have you been doing, mate? What have you been busy with? Or why are you asking ordinary questions? Ask something crazy. Oh, yeah. When's the last time you had a wet dream? When's the last time you woke up covered in your own cum, mate? You're like, whoa, that was one hell of a dream.
Soaked.
Oh, holy shit, need to change the whole sheets and all. When's the last time that happened? There, is that a good question? You don't get any wet dream. You don't remember. Well, you said you had high testosterone, mate. You should Google that. Why not? That's crazy. You're missing out, mate. I feel so sad for you. You want to be like a busted fire hydrant. So you want to be like, oh, it's out of control. When does that happen with you? What dreams? I don't know. We can't unconventionally. Suppose if I get real pent up, you know, if I'm real angry, or I get like super competitive, you know, then well, I don't know. If I don't come throughout the day, I guess, you know, those days where you're all pent up. That's an occur. As if you don't get them though, man. That's crazy. Everyone has to get them. If you what? If you do 20 to 24 days a month, it's good. If you do more than that, you're gonna have a chance of prostate cancer. Well, prostate cancer it is, I guess. Bring it on, mate. Ah. Every day, 2 times a day, mate. I'm trying to do it like 60 times a month. Try to between 60 and 90 times a month. Need this tip somewhere. Nah, I'm alright. I think I read that thing as well somewhere. No, right. Yeah. He said if you do 20 to 24 days a month, it's good. If you do more than that, you're gonna have a chance of prostate cancer.
They just tell men that so that they leave the women alone when they're on their periods.
No, but I just said no. I'm going for like 60 to 90 times a month.
Yeah. Apparently it's good to do that. Because it keeps your sperm fresh and healthy and you're less likely to get one that has cell death already occurring.
Oh, yeah. There's only freshies in there. Only the strong and
You
the
don't want the ones that are starting to die off to make their way to the egg.
Yeah.
Then you get bad things.
Yeah. You got to do it so much you're sore.
You don't want to like wait 3-4 months without coming and then get a chick pregnant because it's probably gonna be
Yeah, not good.
yeah.
True. You want a large family because that is all we really have in the world. People are fixated on material things all the time. Oh, I can't have kids because I can't afford it. Because they're just thinking of buying shit all the time. It's just that mentality of, oh, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy this. They're just fixated on material things. Half the shit they don't even need. And that are nothing in the end, these material things. When there is family, you know, you've made something that surely lives forever. It lives on. I know all my ancestors didn't do all that, you know, do what they did. Just for me to be like, oh, sorry guys, I can't afford it. You know? That's what I think. If they listen to us now, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Look at them all. They got all this shit. And they're like, oh.
Think about the ones that lived on bread and had tattered clothes.
Which one?
Bread like crazy.
Hey?
When people had like tattered clothes and they lived on like little bread staples and they still bread like mad.
That's what I'm saying. And people are like, oh no. Like, oh, I can't afford it. That's sort of philosophy, mate. It's the truth. People are just fucking weak. Weak-minded. And if you're weak-minded, you won't even want to live on.
They say they want to be comfortable, but they're never comfortable. They always want more.
Exactly. I want to be comfortable. I want to be so comfortable. I just want my silk pajamas. Weak. Everyone doesn't have their own philosophy. Everyone has the same philosophy for the most part. And it's based in weakness. And so they're easy to overcome. Which one is big? Infinity or infinity plus one? What are you talking about, bro? Infinity is infinity. It goes on forever. This is your philosophy, is it? Tell me. Because I don't know what you're even saying. I don't know. These questions don't come into my head. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a mathematician. What's the answer to you? Ask the AI. Because that's what I'll do. No one knows. True. Do you think aliens coming by? What do you think about aliens, Kushtab? Are they real? That's a good take. We don't exist for them, just like they don't exist for us. That's right, we all exist for ourselves. Isn't that the truth? Every organism in the universe, its primary function is to focus on itself and to propagate itself forward. And to do what is best for it. I certainly think they're real. You have to be crazy to think they're not. That's what I think. I believe that too. I don't know about the universe stopping to meet each other, but if you think about the sheer endlessness of the universe and the size of it, you'd have to be insane. Well, you must realize, because it's so big, that the chances of them not being real would be so slim compared to them being real, just because I said the sheer magnitude and size. Like, we're out here, and like you said, there'll be ones that don't know about us, like all the way in all sorts of places, and there'll be ones that we definitely don't know about, because like I said, the distance that we are away from one another. But if you find another planet, like, you know how there's all these Earth-like planets, you would have seen that. It's like Kepler something, I forget the names of them all. They're essentially like Earths, and they're like triple the size or quadruple the size. So they look for those planets that are in the Goldilocks zone, and they're blue, which shows they got water, and they're green. Like, they just look like Earths, but in different ways, you know, because obviously different like land formations and stuff. And essentially, like, if they've got all that, they've got life. You can nearly guarantee it. But you know, but this is just the universe, let alone the multiverse. You know, The multiverse takes that to a different level completely. But just the universe is so unbelievably large. Staggering. Is it? What's the story? That sounds interesting. Search on Google Krishna multiverse story. In Hindu cosmology, Lord Krishna is considered the supreme being, Param Brahman, who contains and transcends infinite parallel universes. Two famous stories from the Bhagavad Purana, the revelation of the cosmos in his mouth to Mother Yashoda, and his humbling of Lord Brahma, perfectly illustrates this multiverse concept. The mud-eating incidents, the multiverse in his mouth. When Krishna was a child in Vrindavan, his friends complained to Mother Yashoda that he had been eating dirt. Rushing over, Yashoda scolded him and demanded he open his mouth. When he complied instead of mud, she saw the entire cosmos. She witnessed infinite galaxies, star systems, oceans, mountains. Which one? And the Council of Creators? The universal form in the Bhagavad Gita. Search Brahma and Krishna one. Lord Brahma. The kidnapping and the creation. There's heaps of stories, bro. So it's Krishna and Brahma story, the meeting at the Dvarka. When Lord Brahma visited Krishna in the Dvarka, the gatekeeper announced his arrival. Krishna surprisingly asked, "Which Brahma?" A bewildered Brahma told the guard to report he was the four-headed father of the Kumaras. Upon entering, Brahma was humbled to see other Brahmas with 10, 100, and even 1,000 heads waiting. Krishna revealed that there are countless universes, each with its own Brahma. This shattered Brahma's pride and showed him the true infinite nature of the Supreme. That one? So the day that it humbled him. Trippy. Is that the one? What's the story with the Golden Temple? I heard there's like a locked room in there. The legendary locked Vault B at the Padmanabhaswamy Temple. What's this one? $1 trillion treasures found in there. The fuck? Dvarka is real. Trippy. You made all this stuff. Look at all the stuff that was found in this place. A 4-foot high and 3-foot wide solid golden idol at Mahavishnu studded with diamonds. There's that. Where's the picture of it then? On here it says they found 7 billion of gold, and they reckon there was $1 trillion worth of like jewels altogether. A solid, pure golden throne studded with hundreds of diamonds and precious stones, meant for the 18-foot idol of the deity. Ceremonial attire for adorning the deity in the form of a 16-part gold anki weighing almost 30 kilograms. An 18-foot long pure gold chain among thousands of pure gold chains. A pure gold sheath weighing 500 kilograms. A 36-kilogram golden veil. 1,200 sarpali pure gold coin chains encrusted with precious stones weighing between 3.5 kilos and 10.5 kilos. Several sacks filled with golden artifacts, necklaces, diadems, diamonds, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, gemstones, and objects made of other precious metals. Gold coconut shells, studded with rubies and emeralds. Several 18th century Napoleonic era coins. Hundreds of thousands of gold coins of the Roman Empire. What the fuck? And a hoard of gold coins dating to the medieval period. This guy just collecting everything. Everything gold. It's fucking fascinating though. It's because it doesn't make sense, it's fascinating. I've never opened it. The discovery of the treasure attracted widespread national and international media attention, as it is considered to be the largest collection of items of gold and precious stones in the recorded history of the world. Wow. That's fucking incredible. See these treasures, mate. They must have photos of them. What do we got here? Temple pots. Jeez, everything's just made out of pure gold. $32-kilogram idol. There is a Samant temple in India 1,000 years ago. 1 rubber steals gold. For rubber gold, what he needs 17 years. What do you mean? It's fucking fascinating. All the old gold coins. Crazy. An 18-foot gold chain. all the necklaces. Mountain Carts Temple in India. Fucking hell. Now it's wild. The world's largest monolithic rock cut structure. Fucking hell. See, if I was scared of India, mate, this is all the stuff I'd check out. This stuff's really cool. It is fascinating. Crazy. India's got a very rich history. So yeah, this would be all the stuff if I was to make a checklist and go to India. This is all the stuff I'd want to check out just because it's so... It's just fascinating. Anything old, architecturally wise, like, you know, I'd want to go see, if I was to go to Greece, I'd want to go see all the old temples. If I was to go to Rome, I just want to see the Colosseum and stuff like that, those old sort of cities. All those places, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah. You good? You drink some? Yeah. Need some? Yeah. A bit of asthma. Yeah, I said I'll get one then. You need it? Anyway. Alrighty, Kushtab. I'm gonna get going to bed. Thanks for telling me about this Kailasa temple. Pretty cool. British stole 45 trillion worth of gold from India. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's all people do is steal from each other, mate. That's all they do. For what? You know? Oh, I've got some gold. Gold diggers. It's pretty cool, all this stuff there. You stay magnificent, my friend. You have a great day. Great night. You take care of yourself, brother. And I'll be back tomorrow for day 110. The show must go on. Bye-bye.